Okay, so the next one up is create a copy of your school timetable. So I've got an example of mine here. This is I keep a timetable for each week, that way I can keep track of what's going on and when. So you want to make something similar to this. And you keep in mind your fonts and everything. So to get started, I have a timetable. So let's have a go. So we need to include, let's see, Monday. Okay, now one thing you can do is if I hover over it, I go from across to a hand. If I hover, and I can move this to over here. If I go into the bottom corner, it turns to a black cross, which means I can move this across and it will fill them up. Okay, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Over here, I want to include the lesson 1, and the time that the lesson started, which in this case is 8:40, I think. Then lesson 2, which starts at 9:35, I think. Then it's recess, which starts at 10:25. Then it's lesson 3, which starts at 10:50, I believe. Doesn't sound right. Lesson 4 starts at 11:40. Lesson 5 starts at lesson 5, 12:50. Lesson 5 being, of course, our pastoral care lesson. Then we have lunch, which starts at 1:10. Then we have lesson 6, which starts at 1:45. Actually, I think it's 1:50. Lesson 7, which starts at 2:40, and then end of school, which is at 3:30. Now, one of the reasons why I've got 2 of these is so I can put down the lesson and then the class. Okay, so if I look at my timetable, and I'm going to have a look at my timetable off the top of my head. So Monday I've got a free lesson. Tuesday I've got Year 8 Science in G5. Then I've got recess. Then I have free. Then I have Year 10 Robotics in S1. Then I have middle school pastoral care, which is all over the place. Lesson 6 is my Year 7 Science. It doesn't actually matter if this is right or wrong, which is in G4. And then I have my Year 10 IT in S2. Okay, so that's Monday. Tuesday, so I have to put in all the rest. So this is now Tap and App, which is in S2. Then I have a free recess. Then I have a double Year 10, no, it's a single. Year 8 Science in G5. Free, let's go Year 7 Science in G4. Lunch, this is 7, 8 Chapel, and so on. Now, what I'm going to do is skip ahead now. Okay, so I've just quickly filled in the rest of them. Now, it looks really messy at the moment. So one thing I'm going to do is highlight these. Actually, I'm going to copy this one first and paste it there. I'm also going to highlight all of these. Now, because I've highlighted them all, if I grab one of them and move it across, it moves them all across. If I double click though, it will spread them out. So I don't want to do that because I want them all nice and neat. Alright, so that's the first bit. Also, I want to highlight them all, and I want to add in my all borders. Okay, actually, I don't want to do that. That's a lie. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight everything and make it in the middle and in the middle. Okay, so it neatens it up a little bit. Now, I will want to add color and so on. So, I'm just going to drag this up one. Get rid of this. Okay, so now we've put in all our information. Nothing else matters at the moment. Only thing I need to worry about now is putting in, make them look decent. So here, so if I go to say tap an app, I want to put a box around that. So outside box. I also want to give it a color. Let's make it purple. That's a terrible color, right? And tend not to use pastels. I tend not to use bright colors because it actually makes it harder. If I copy this and paste this in here, I've now got my tap and app. My year 8 science class, I'm going to do the same thing. Put a box around it, make it green. Copy it, and wherever I've got year 8 science, I'm just going to paste. Okay. What's next? Now, I'm just going to go ahead and finish them off myself. Okay, so I've done all the rest of my classes. Note that for Year 7 Science, and this one I'm actually in N3, so I had to do that one separately. Now, these ones I just want to highlight, I want to put a border around, so I can do it one by one, or, which is actually probably the easiest way of doing it. If you select that you want to do all borders, it will put the lines in between, which I currently don't want to do. Okay, rather than doing that, I'm going to copy that, paste it in here. Do the same thing for this. Okay, I'm going to do something different in a second. Staff meeting, I'm going to add in yellow. Basketball court, same thing. Okay, now these ones, I'm going to make these ones all the same. I'm just going to fill them in like this. And all the rest are going to be freeze. Alright, so what I can do is put a border around it, copy it, and then I can actually paste these all in. So now don't think of this as a table, think of it as lots of little boxes that we've stuck together. Alright, so it doesn't really look like a table just yet. It doesn't feel it. So now, last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight each day and do a thick box. Oops, my mistake. When you do it, make sure you do it right. So do a box around it. Same. Same. Okay, and I'm going to break up my day into some sections. Okay, lunch, recess, middle section. Sorry. Okay, done. And I now have my timetable for the week. I'm going to do that one slightly separate too. Now you can add in more colours if you want. You can make it look a little bit better if you want. But it still doesn't look quite right. So I'm going to highlight it all again and just give it a little bit more room. The other one I'm going to do is highlight vertical and just give that a little bit more room too. And all of a sudden your timetable just pops. Okay, so this looks a lot better. If I try and print this now, okay, make sure it's in landscape. It's not quite right, so I'm going to go scale to fit 1 by 1. So now I've got a decent timetable and I can print that out and put it on my thing. So that would be how to set up your timetable. There is nothing special about that. The only thing I was really trying to make sure I was doing, okay, is text alignment. Well, I haven't had to worry about that. If I had to do this Australia Day, I would have adjusted text alignment. Okay, if I put lessons or whatever. So for example, if I want to go here and I want to put angle counterclockwise, which doesn't look that great. Can't do that. Alright, the other way is to go, let's go like that. Alright, and because the problem is it's up here, so I want to merge the cells. Okay, now I could go and do that for all of them, but instead I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to click on this Format Painter, and I copy it across. Okay, so then it means that everything's going to be formatted, be nice. I'm also going to change the bold, and make these just a little bit bigger. Okay, also if I want to make it bigger, I can either adjust it here, here, or I can go Shift Command greater than, which is also a good one. Might also want to make these slightly bigger, so I'm holding down Command now to highlight 2 different sections at the same time. Make it one bigger, make it bold, again, makes it just that little bit neater. Okay, and So we've done all this, copy and paste, font manipulation, which is making it look half decent. You'll notice in here I use white font on a background. I can do that on here as well. If I just change the font to be white. Right, however, because I've used lighter colours, it's difficult to see. Here I've used very bold colours, but I use the opposite font. Shading, bordering we've done. Merge cells, you saw me just do then. Drag to fill, we did from Monday to Friday. Headers and footers we've done previously. Auto do. Right, so that should be our timetable. Now I'd suggest you print off 3 copies. One copy you're going to give to me, one copy you're going to put in your diary or keep for yourself, and one copy you're going to put in your locker. Right.